So we're going to import our data into Excel, into Python, and our Python and R using Google Colab. The first one we're going to do is do it in Excel. So what we want to do, normally what you do is you do File, Open, but instead of that, so if I go to File, for example here, I can open, and there's a variety of things you can do. Just get your files that I've been working on. But what we want to do is we want to go to Data. So if you go to Data here, you're going to get this tab that's called, it says Get Data, and we're going to click on this. I also want to point out as well, right now I'm in the online version of Excel, which will allow me to do this still, but it uploads the file to your Google, not your Google Drive, but your OneDrive, which is okay. But if you want to do it on your desktop, go up to Editing and Open in Desktop. The file will still get called in. It's just later when there's more things that you want to do. This desktop version is always the more powerful version with more options than just the online version. So you can just go straight into this if you want right off the bat. But I'm just going to show you the more limited version using the online one. So if I get data, I'm going to get data, and we'll see a page that pops up here. And so I've got a variety of different things to get data. And you'll see here's JSON and text or CSV files. There's the Excel workbook. These two are the same. It's just that what happens, Excel takes this CSV file and adds in a whole bunch of their own proprietary stuff. So there's nothing new or fancy or significant about this Excel workbook. It is a CSV file, just added in all this extra stuff to make it complicated. So we've got both a CSV file and a JSON file that we're going to upload. So we're going to go to the browse here. That's the easiest thing for me. I'm going to see that I've already downloaded my two files here in my downloads folder. And let's try the JSON one first, because this is the most complicated. Actually, no, we'll do the Excel one first. So this is a comma delimited one. And so we'll see what happens here as it starts to think, it starts to upload the stuff to my OneDrive. And now that it's done, I'm going to hit next down here, and it's going to think again for a little bit. And so now we're in a thing called Power Query. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have a date, time here. It's going to have a location. We can see the ABCs. We're going to have a temperature, and since it's got decimals in it, it's going to be a float value. We're going to have some PM 2.5 particulate matter data and some humidity data. So we're going to have all this data here that's available for this. And when we're done and we think everything looks good, like I don't see anything else hidden in here, this is all the data, we're going to transform that data. And so once we transform the data, it takes us to this. Now we can manipulate the data if there's things that we don't like. We can change the headings. We can actually change the type of data. So if I wanted to go on the column here, I can actually go and change it, transform, and so you can turn something, so turn it into something different. I can turn it into date time, I can turn it into text, I can turn it into something else, so then the value of the columns get changed correspondingly. I can group, so if we notice here that I've got Toronto, Ottawa, Hamilton, London, Toronto, Ottawa, Hamilton, London. Right now it's being grouped by the date. And so four different cities, four different readings in different cities on this date. But if I wanted to group based on, say, just Toronto and Ottawa, I could go to group by and I could actually do my manipulation here. We're not going to do that just yet. We're just going to pull the data in and just see what it is. So now that we're done and we think that everything here looks okay, we'll go back to this home, close and load. And so now when we go to close and load, it's going to pull it into the regular sheet like we are used to. The only thing is that it's going to have it in what's called a Power Query mode. So we'll see that it's got all this tabulated data at the top, so we can actually click on this and it gives us more information. We can actually specify the types of things we want, what kind of data do we want to see, and remove stuff very easily along the way. So what this does, it allows us to work in an Excel file sheet very, very easily, especially when we have gigantic amounts of data. So from here, right, you can now do all the regular things, put in formulas, we could make averages, standard deviations, but you'll see that we've got some new buttons up here. So we have a data validation, analyze the data, split text to columns, remove duplicates. This is going to be very important. We can still group and we can ungroup here. So there's a lot of things that we can do. And again, this is just a small data set. We're looking for large data sets, 100,000 million data points. And so we're going to need to use some of these things for that. All right, so everything's called in. So I want to try the JSON file and I want to see what that one looks like. So I just clicked on this little button, got a new sheet. I'm going to get data for that one. So let's get data. I'm going to browse for this one. And this is the JSON file. So remember the JSON is actually it's a nested file. And it's going to pull it in. And while we're waiting, there it is. I'm going to hit next. And you'll see it is a different data file. It doesn't have the same data set on purpose so that it looks different. It's going to take a bit of time. And so it realizes then that it's got a column here called sensors ID. So there's sensor 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got a couple of different cities, Toronto, Ottawa, Hamilton, London. There's all the latitude and longitude for it, so the GPS coordinates. Here's the date time specifically for when these readings were taken for each of these ones. And we got a temperature, a noise, and a soil moisture. So if we didn't like these titles, this could be a point here where we can actually change the title. But at this point right now, we're going to close and load. But I could transform. I can add columns. I can change columns. But here's the rename. So I could click on this. I could rename. And for example, I could just get rid of sensor readings like that and just call it date time. That might be easier. And so I can do it here. And so now it's done that. And I can do the same thing here. I'll rename this one, just call it temperature. So there's things that you can do to before you call it into the sheet to make your life easy like that. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. So let's say everything is fine, everything's good. I'm just going to then go back to the home, close and load. That's going to put it into a sheet, into a Power Query mode again. So I'm going to have all these little tabs up at the top so I can actually start to sort things. I can remove certain days if I want. So for example, the sensors here, if I only wanted to look at sensor 1, I could remove sensor 2, sensor 3, and sensor 4, and only sensor 1 would apply. So that's pretty cool. If I wanted them back again, maybe I just wanted these two, or if I wanted just these 3. So it allows you to really sort of filter through the data in Excel in a nice, easy way. Again, Excel works very well and it's very simple and straightforward. However, it does not work on very, very large data sets that Python and R can do. As well, what you might want to do is change the tab name. So if I right click on here, I can rename the sheet. And so I could turn that into Enviro data or like that. I could call it sheet 2 or Enviro data 2 or something. And then there's my time series that I did before. And so this one was a CSV file. This one was a JSON file. So just to show you what the JSON file actually looks like, here I've got it in my VS Code. So this is the file here. So sensors expanded JSON, and what it is it's a nested bit of information. So instead of being tabular data, it's actually it'll say sensors, and then there will be this colon here, and then this bracket. And so for this now it'll say, okay, for sensor 1, its location is Toronto. Here's the readings on this date, on this date, on this date, on this date, on this date. So it's a nested set of readings. And it's not the easiest for things to read this in. So Excel can do it, Python can do it. I'm finding that R is having some difficulty with it. But it's possible we can do it. But what you want to do is use these 3 tools to your advantage. So if pulling it into Excel and saving it as a CSV file is the easiest thing to do, that is probably what you want to do. But most likely you're going to find all your data as a CSV file. So that's going to be okay. But if I scroll down, you'll see that now there's sensor 3, sensor 4, and so on and so forth. And so typically when we get sensor data, we're going to see it nested like this. We have time series data, you're going to see it as a time series expanded table like that. And just to show you the difference, so I've got the CSV file here now. And so you'll see the CSV file is what they call comma delimited. And so I've got a date here, location, but there's a comma in between. And so all your data here in the header is going to be one continuous sort of uh, set of data, just with commas in between. And then the next one will have commas, and the next one, and the next one, and so on. And so you're going to see a lot of data that looks like this. This is by far the number one file format for data, for all data analysis, especially in environmental science. You will see the JSON format used as well. That's when you have, like, say, tree inventories or things like that, where a lot of description needs to be put into it. You'll find that sort of works better than possibly tabular data. But the CSV is by far the number one data file method.